Part 2 of discussion about writing fan fiction as part of your development as a writer. If you're already established, you don't need to do it. You can do it for fun if you wish. Just improving your craft. Now, what I had discussed earlier in the earlier video on writing fan fiction, Asimov's first novel, he talked about one of the most popular series books in my younger days, featured the Rover Boys. One of them, the Rover Boys on the Great Lakes, contained a young lady. When I started to write, I wrote in direct, even slavish imitation of this book. I called it the Greenville Chums in college. Well, I had mentioned that Stratemeyer had written a book about chums in the title. I wondered if Asimov had read that. It turns out he had. This is In Memory Yet Green, published before his memoir, an autobiography, more detailed, of Isaac Asimov. And he read, Stratemeyer wrote Tom Swift and Bobbsey Twins and the Darewell Chums. And, but Papillot and most important of all to Asimov were the Rover Boys. He talks a little bit about how and this is the Rover Boys on the Great Lakes. And the different characters. Andy, the villainous sneak, his father, the reformed jailbird, and so forth. And he talks about how he was inspired and he decided to write. I called his first novel The Greenville Chums at College. I had a book called The Darewell Chums at College. Actually, I believe that's the Darewell Chums at School. Anyway, by substituting Greenville for Darewell, I had made all possible concessions to the need for originality. So, the Darewell Chums through thick and thin, and there's another, the Darewell Chums School, and the Rover Boy Great Lakes. I read those. Now, comparing writers to firefighters. Oh, I didn't. For those of you who don't know, I was an EMT for 20 years and a firefighter for 10 of those. And there are steps in a firefighting career. Start off at an entry level and yeah, wrong pages. Anyway, firefighters have a very straightforward progression. You start as a firefighter, you work your way up, and you may end up as chief. But there's a lot of steps. It depends on the size of your department. although whether it's paid or volunteer doesn't matter as much as you need to have the proper knowledge to move up. Start off as firefighters, work your way up to company officers, and then chief officers, and then chief. And that's not the way it is for writing, but you do need to learn things. Make your verbs portray action wherever possible. That's just an example. Sentence seems clear when its important actions are in verbs. Don't use nominalizations. Many do. Most recommend against it. I recommend against it. Now, I've mentioned what I'm going to do. These are The Sun Also Rises by Hemingway and The Great Gatsby by Fitzgerald are both first-person books. For my fan fiction, so to speak, I can now rewrite them. I'm going to rewrite Sun Also Rises in third person, and the same for The Great Gatsby. At least that's my intention. And I don't know, I may do it piece by piece just to illustrate various aspects such as scene sequel writing. I think that covers the basics. You might find something you want to do. You may already be fans of, and you can even write things that you will never show to anybody by using contemporary, things that are in copyright. Copyright has expired on The Great Gatsby and The Sun Also Rises. But whatever's published now, if you want to rewrite it in your own way, change third person to first or first person to third. Now, Stratemeyer. This was very, very good book. It's the best of the Stratemeyer books. It's old, 1986, almost 40 years old. Edward Stratemeyer. He actually started by writing or rewriting, in his own words, existing series. And then he got hired and actually did that for pay. And then he branched out on his own, made a fortune writing the Rover Boys, Ruth Fielding, the Hardy Boys, Nancy Drew, and so forth. I'll go over separately just on Stratemeyer. There's plenty to talk about. Stratemeyer and Asimov and Dickens all became fiction factories, so to speak. Talk about that later.